Welcome everyone to the Everything Show, episode 581. I am your host, Matrix1212, and I'm with Billy. What's up, Billy?
Not much, just, living life.
What's up, Chris?
The hell was that?
I know. What's up, Steampunk?
Oh, I'm here in Hollywood, amberstreet.com.
What is up, Daniel?
Hi, guys.
Gloria?
What's up, everybody?
Ray?
Pineapple supplies!
What's up, Scott? Hello, Scott?
No, they not muted for a second.
Oh, no. Alright, so, first off, Chris, you want to talk about the Star Trek thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I do apologize, guys. My voice is like kind of in and out, so otherwise I'd be doing it.
I got it, okay.
Bye, Scott.
Okay, so it says, Nicholas Meyer says 2017 Star Trek show will go in a different direction in new interview. He says, quote, I can't tell you anything. I know things, but if I told you, I'd have to kill you. That's pretty cliche. If I'm lucky, I get to write episodes. If I'm less lucky, I'll just get to sit in that room with all these other clever people. I'm waiting for them all to tell me what I'm going to do while I'm there. I'm hoping the reason I was invited to do this was connected to presumably something I would have to do or have to offer. Whether that is the case or whether it's recognized when it happens remains to be seen. I'm not a silver bullet.
Well, I hope Tony Todd
go in a different direction.
I hope Tony Todd becomes the captain because I think he was a very good actor and very underutilized in Deep Space Nine.
You back, Scott?
Yeah.
Daniel, what'd you have to say, Daniel?
I'm so excited. It's going to go in a different direction. It'll be more modern.
That's good. Looks cool. I mean, it's in the right hands. I mean, that it's definitely action, like Wrath of Khan and stuff. So, anybody have anything to say about the Star Trek show? I mean, what do you guys
as long as they're not pulling it into darkness and repeating Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm so sick of repeating Wrath of Khan. I mean, they did that in Nemesis, and they did that, So I mean, they've repeated Wrath of Khan twice already. And I want to give an interesting fact about Star Trek that most people don't know. And I was telling Daniel this. Did you know that Star Trek, the motion picture, made more money than the Wrath of Khan? It's a fact.
I don't know about that one. I mean,
I could believe that.
You think so?
Yeah, because, I mean, think about it. Everyone was so excited for the first one, right? And then when that wasn't that good, less people would go see the second one.
And actually, I know a lot of people attack Star Trek Motion Picture. Star Trek Motion Picture was the only Star Trek movie that was produced by Gene Roddenberry, and the story was written by Gene Roddenberry. I actually liked Star Trek Motion Picture.
Because that was originally supposed to have been another TV series, and then they...
Well, yeah, I mean, what happened is, okay, Star Trek Phase 2, they had already written scripts, they had already designed the set for Star Trek Phase 2. There's even, you can look it up on YouTube, there's even test footage. They shot some test footage with the costumes and everything. And then Star Wars came out, and Star Wars had a budget of $11 million and became the highest grossing film of all time during that time period. And it blew people away. A lot of people were expecting Star Wars to bomb. And so because Star Wars did so surprisingly well, all the movie studios were rushing. They were like, oh my God, we got to come up with a Star Wars copy. We got to copy this formula. And Paramount was like, well, what do we have to compete with Star Wars? Oh, we got Star Trek Phase 2. Let's cancel TV production and take all the sets and turn it into a movie. And that's what they did.
Well, let me. You are right to a point. Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Keep in mind this, right? The budget was $35 million. It made $82 million, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, when you get into the Wrath of Khan, they only spent $11 million for the budget, not 35, but it made close to almost 79 million. It was 78 million.
As I was saying,
so it was more profitable, the Wrath of Khan, than the other one. But yes, by the numbers, the motion picture did make more money than Wrath of Khan. Like, if you
Well,
look
that's
at it
all I
that
was
way.
saying. I thought that I recently, because me and Daniel were having a debate off the air. I mean, a friendly debate, and
Right.
I was looking up numbers, and I was like, wow, I never knew that until recently that the motion picture made like $3 million more than the Wrath of Khan.
And the Voyage Home,
Yeah.
the Voyage Home made $109 million.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
And if you adjust for inflation, okay, and that was another thing I was talking with Daniel a few weeks ago. Because the motion picture made $82 million in 1979, when movie tickets were a lot cheaper and the cost of living was a lot cheaper. And so if you adjust for inflation, Star Trek the motion picture in today's dollars made more money than Star Trek in the Darkness.
Now, the next generation.
And I was using these figures, and I was using, because there's several websites you can go to for inflation adjustment, but I was using these figures to say, hey, maybe we need to return to a Gene Roddenberry way of looking at things with Star Trek, because it seems like that's what fans want, because Star Trek motion picture did better than Star Trek Into Darkness did.
Right. Now, the next generation films did more money. I mean, Generations did worldwide $118 million with a $35 million budget. You had First Contact, which did $146 million.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one of the next generation. Insurrection made $112 million, which some thought of that as a failure, but it wasn't, number-wise. And Nemesis was the worst of it, where it did $67 million, with a budget of $60 million. The budget was higher with Nemesis. That was the failure of the Next Generation crew. And then, of course, Abrams is a $150 million budget, which made $385 million worldwide. And then Into Darkness made $467 million worldwide with almost a $200 million budget. So, and then we got the new one coming out. So that's where it goes by the numbers. Daniel, anything?
Yeah, hey, do you think the next one's going to do any better? I mean, the next one has a budget of $150 million, so I think it should do better because it costs less to make, so it could make his money back easier.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to do better because I really don't know too much about the plots. I mean, from what I've seen, I don't know if I'm crazy about them being planet-side the whole movie. I mean, to me, it's like, why can't they be in space? Because that's where you have the space battles and stuff like that, and where it gets really interesting. Test of wills.
Oh, it's supposed to be all on a planet. They're not.
Yeah, it looks like Kirk with another captain of an alien race and combating their mind, what they're gonna do, what maneuvers, like strategy and space battling. That I would want to see, but on a planet, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see space battles and.
Like, I think Wrath of Khan all the time. When they had that battle like that, you know what I'm saying? I want to see something like that. I don't want to see, like, all right, our ship blew up, now what do we do? It's like,
Well, I think the beauty of Wrath of Khan is that it wasn't senseless action. And it wasn't senseless action. It wasn't senseless violence. The violence and the action in Wrath of Khan was...
It was warranted.
Yeah, it was warranted. It was part of the plot. It helped drive the plot forward, and it was a well-written story. And so, I mean, that's kind of the problem I had with the last two Abrams films. It just seemed like a lot of senseless, gratuitous action. So much crap is going on at once.
Too much action, not enough plot.
Yeah, exactly. Too much action, not enough plot. It's just senseless, mindless special effects, explosions, and a lot of times I get lost in what the hell was going on, and
that's the Russell Crowe Robin Hood movie is that it was like, yeah, all this action, and then then it's like this plot line, lots of action, then let's have some jibber jabber, plot line, another action. It's just it went nowhere. That's what I didn't like about the Russell Crowe Robin Hood, and that's why Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I started. I saw that years ago, and I think I watched part of it on HBO when I used to have HBO, and I got bored with Russell Crowe's Robin Hood. Didn't even finish watching the whole movie.
Don't even bother. It wasn't even worth.
All right, Billy, I want you to do the top article about Zombieland.
Sure.
Okay.
I hope they do a sequel.
Billy's gonna do the article for us.
By the way, Star Trek.
Ooh.
I just.
Look what Scott's doing.
Yeah, saying Zombieland.
In honor of Zombieland.
It's a really good movie.
Billy, you got it?
It's loading still.
Loading. Yeah.
Processing.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
opening for some reason. It's still sitting.
Processing.
Okay. So, you should be a computer voice, Steampunk. All right. So Jesse Eisenberg has updated about what Zombieland. He says, "Yeah, it'd be wonderful to do." Eisenberg told EW, "I know they've been trying to do it for a while, and I know they've been trying to figure out exactly what will occur in it. But it's a kind of movie. As soon as it comes out, it seems appropriate to generate a sequel. It takes place in this odd created world and features an ensemble of interesting characters, and I'd be curious to see more of." So again, 2014 was reported that the studio had hired David Callahan to write the sequel under the supervision of Ruben Fleischer, who would return to direct. There's still no word about the participants, if they'll be back.
What the hell?
Oh,
So,
Billy and Chris just dropped out.
what?
yeah. Well, I
Billy
think he
and Chris
got
have
kicked
just
off by
dropped.
accident because he got froze and then it kicked him out.
Oh,
Google
goddamn.
Schmoogle.
That's happened to me before.
That's why I had to bump.
All right. We did have.
Hey, Chris back.
Welcome back, Chris.
Oh yeah, Chris was knocked out too, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, Chris and Billy.
I do want to say that, not to change the subject, but Amityville, we know that they've held this movie for a year and a half, I think, Scott? Something like that.
A year and a half.
They are already making a sequel to that now. In fact, it might even almost be done. So there's going to be another Amityville after this one, but it might be not released. Yeah, thank you, Scott. Yeah, exactly. It is really seriously. How many Amityvilles is this now?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I am not that interested in it.
Just blow up the house.
That's what I was about to say. Thank you, Ray.
Margot Kidder one still has been the best.
No, honestly, Chris L. Which one is this now?
I don't know, man. But like, if this house is such a problem, let's like target a frickin' tomahawk. And,
It's all like alternate realities in the same house.
Let's call an airstrike on that son of a bitch.
Let's start doing some comment. Let's do parodies called involving house hunters, and
No, what they should do is get Jesse Eisenberg, Seth Rogen, and stick them in now.
You can
I want
fire
to see.
You can fire some depleted uranium shells, particularly uranium-235, and it has a half-life of 700 million years, and it's radioactive and toxic. So that would be good.
All right. So besides another Amityville or two, we got another Chucky, which that I'm looking forward
now Chucky I'd love to see because those are always entertaining.
to. And Jennifer Tilly again
Ooh,
appearing in it.
yummy.
So
That's
that'll
my
be-
favorite version.
any thoughts about Deadpool this weekend?
Oh.
Obviously, it's going to be #1. We know that. It's already at 611 million.
And there's rumors they don't know exactly how it's going to play out, whether it's going to be copycat or the actual Domino, but there is word that Domino may be actually in the sequel as well.
Yes.
I'm not
So
being rude, but I think Deadpool's going to get its billion in no time.
it's probably going to reach 750 million this week with the worldwide numbers, and it's probably going to be #1
That's
till
this week.
yeah 7. So that's amazing. It's like this was what, the third week.
Yeah.
So 700. If it makes 750 in 3 weeks, that's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
and then Batman vs Superman obviously will take it off the rails, but not that much. I mean, it'll probably still be like number 2 or 3. So it will probably may make $1 billion.
But so, do we still
Possibility.
think? Do we still think that 10 Cloverfield Lane will get number 2, or do we think they'll go 3?
I think 10 Cloverfield Lane will do very well.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I mean, the budget's small, right? So all it needs to do is, it doesn't need to do a lot in order for it to be a success.
And the fact they kept it under the radar is also probably going to be.
It's going to be profitable, and they're going to green light another Cloverfield like a day after it comes out. I bet you. If they
They
didn't
already
do it
have
already,
plans to do so.
they already did, right? So, I mean, we know. I mean, what did it cost to make? Do we have any
$5
numbers?
million.
That's it.
$5 million.
Oh, easy.
What
It'll
did
make
5?
that? It'll make that in a day.
Yeah.
What did $5 million?
No, it
Cloverfield
only
Lane.
took $5 million.
Oh, they
to make
only
Cloverfield
spent
Lane.
$5 million. It's probably because it's a found footage film.
So
No,
what
it's
did they
not.
pay?
It's not found footage.
Oh,
What
it's
did they
not.
pay
Okay.
John Goodman though?
I don't know, but I mean,
He took a pay cut for that, probably, right? I mean,
he
he's
probably did, but I have to say though, I mean, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I told you this already. It had the most brilliant marketing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
yeah.
the fact
I
that
saw that.
they did that. It was so simple. You could do it on like a $14, $15 budget if you had to.
Yeah. Now Sharon likes the trailer. She wants to
Well-
go see it. Usually she don't go see those movies, but Sharon's gonna go see that one.
Yeah, I mean,
I suspect that if it's only $5 million, it's going to be very limited on special effects. So you're probably not going to see the monster.
It's gonna be $100 million, Chris. Right? Probably make.
I think it's going to make a good deal because the brilliance of this movie is it really can't fail because
Yeah.
the first night it comes out, you've got so many people wanting to go see it, you're going to make your budget back plus more in one night.
Yeah,
And
just
if
because
it's
people
good-
don't know about it.
Right. If it's good, word of mouth will make you not only double the budget, but triple, and you might even quadruple the budget. I mean, at some point you might reach a point where the studio or the studios who are involved with it, mainly Bad Robot, is going to be like, yeah, let's do another one, and we'll give it a bit of a bigger budget, and then who
Well, you know
knows
what I
where
don't
it will
understand?
Well,
know what I don't-
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies had a relatively low budget and still
Yeah, but
bombed.
bombed. Yeah. You know what I don't understand? If it only costs $5 million to make, right?
Billy's back.
Why don't they? If like, all right, say it makes $105 million, right?
Sorry, my computer completely froze up.
No problem. Why don't they just?
Figured that.
Why don't they just green light a couple of Cloverfields? Like, why don't they space out, like, say, $100 million and make like 5 of them or something?
Because this is what happened with the first one, right? The first one did really well financially, but critically it did all right.
Yeah, it
Who
was.
cares about critically?
It
though?
was
They do. The whole reason that there was never a Godzilla 2 with Matthew Broderick was because critically it didn't do well.
But
It made a
financially-
whole bunch of money, but critically it didn't do well at all. And they were like, we're not doing it. We're not doing
People
it.
weren't thrilled that Godzilla was looking too.
Yeah.
That
The-
Fauna thing.
The thing about 10 Cloverfield Lane is I think that so many people were wondering, because unless you found that post that J.J. Abrams put a few months after or it might have been a few weeks after Cloverfield came out, you really don't know how the movie ends. Like, there's a lot of people who don't know. The monster died. It died shortly after the movie. So it makes sense for why the monster's not going to be in this one, because this one takes place afterwards and the monster's already dead.
But did they explain where it came from or nothing, right?
They did. The monster it's a naturally occurring species on Earth that lives at the bottom of the ocean. And it was awoken by in the viral marketing campaign, you see this oil rig is drilling, and there's this like environmental group that sends a message to the United States saying they're not drilling for oil. There's no oil over there, so why are they drilling? And then you see the monster attacks you never see the monster, but it attacks the drilling station, and then it heads for New York.
So could it be that they unleashed more than one monster?
That's what I'm thinking probably happened.
It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Like they made a crack and the whole friggin' family came out?
And this was another thing too. Unless you followed the viral marketing campaign, you didn't know that the reason that the main character Rob was leaving was because he got a promotion to vice president of one of these subsidiary companies that the drilling station company owns, and it's this soft drink company called Slusho. And what they didn't tell anybody in the movie, which I think was a mistake, was I believe the monster's blood is used in the drink.
Ew.
Yeah.
So nobody knew that, and the reason that what's her name? I think Marlena. The reason she exploded when she got bit by the parasite was because the parasite produces this stuff naturally, and it causes red blood cell growth, like rapid red blood cell growth, and that's why she blew up.
Wow.
They took this
So the monster's blood is in what drink? I missed.
Slusho or
Slusho is a calling card of J.J. Abrams. Every movie that or show that he makes, he tries to put this soft drink into the movie.
Except for Star Wars. Did he put it in Star Wars?
So the soft drink has super blood.
Basically, pretty much.
Wow.
Well, actually, in Star Trek, it's in there. I think one of the characters in that bar scene in the first movie, you hear someone in the background go, "I'll have a Slusho."
Wow.
And that was J.J. Abrams' calling card.
Wow. Okay.
So, because the very first viral marketing campaign thing, other than the trailer, was a site that I think it's still active called Slusho.jp.
Right.
And it talks about this stuff called seabed nectar, which is apparently the monster's blood. And they said that you're not supposed to ingest too much of it because it causes, like, all these health things that the FDA considered, they're all beneficial. But they didn't know it was, like, this monster's blood. They just thought it was...
Well, why ingest it at all? Like,
you're not supposed to ingest it in its raw form, but if you mix it into other... It's kind of like a protein shake. You're not supposed to eat more protein, but... There was another I don't want to get too deep into it because it's a long story, but there's another viral marketing thing where, remember the environmental group I told you about before?
Yeah.
That they sent the message? One of the viral marketing campaigns was one of the men who worked in the environmental group sent his girlfriend a box of this stuff because he was captured before or after he sent this box, he was captured by this company for corporate espionage, and I guess they killed him and his group. And in the box was the raw form of this seabed nectar. It was frozen. And on it, it said, "Do not eat." Like, for some reason. I don't know why he would put that, but whatever. And then she gets pissed at him because she thinks that he left with another woman. And this was his way of breaking up with her. So she ate this stuff on camera.
Ew.
And then in the next video she made, she was, like super hyperactive.
Wow.
It was like she did a whole thing of cocaine, except it was like she was off the wall and she was talking, not making any sense. And then later on in the video, she takes it was in another video. She takes out a tape recorder, and on it he's like, "I don't know what's going on at this drilling station, but it's like they found something or they're making something." And then a few days later, they released pictures of you see the monster coming up from the ocean. And you see the station crumbling around it.
Wow.
Maybe the monster is a metaphor for offshore drilling.
Are we going to ever see, like, a full-on movie with Cloverfield creature or different creatures?
Well, here's another thing about that. And this was another thing that they didn't explain in the movie, which they should have. The Cloverfield monster in Cloverfield was just a baby.
Oh.
But the problem is... They never explained whether they're all that large or whether this one was that large because it was drinking the seabed nectar and it was in its blood, and they never explained that.
I see.
But,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that this next movie, because John Goodman's character works for another company that worked with the company that owned the station that was drilling. So I'm hoping he says, "I know what happened, this is what happened, this is what the monster was, and this is what's happening now."
Right. All right. Very good. I'm definitely, me and Chad definitely going to go see it, so Cloverfield. 10 Cloverfield Lane. she liked the trailer.
I'm not that interested in it, to be honest.
I missed what was said about Zombieland.
There's no real news about it. There's nothing set in stone. They want to do it, but they're just waiting. You know, I
There's going
guess.
to be a celebrity cameo by Rick Grimes.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it.
Walking Land or Dead Land.
All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna get out of here. So take care. Bye for now.